In this video, we'll be focusing on one of the most important topics in chemistry, atomic structure. By the end of this video, you will understand what atoms are made of, the differences between protons, neutrons, and electrons, and how to find the number of each subatomic particle. Let's begin. Atoms are the smallest particle of an element that still have the chemical properties of that element. An atom has two main parts, a tiny but very dense center called the nucleus, and the electrons moving around the nucleus in electron shells. Let's take lithium as an example. If we zoom into a piece of lithium metal, we will see that the atoms are arranged in a neat, orderly manner. If we zoom further into a single lithium atom, we will get a typical representation of atomic structure. A lithium atom contains 3 protons, 4 neutrons, and 3 electrons. The protons and neutrons are concentrated in the center, forming the nucleus, while the electrons move around the nucleus in electron shells. Inside every atom, there are 3 subatomic particles. We call it the protons, neutrons, and electrons. Each has its own relative mass, charge, and location. Protons and neutrons are located in the nucleus, while electrons are found in the electron shells. A proton has a relative charge of +1. A neutron has a charge of 0, which we call it electrically neutral. And an electron has a charge of -1. Now, since an atom is electrically neutral, the number of protons must equal the number of electrons, so that the positive and negative charges will cancel each other out.
Protons and neutrons have almost the same mass, while electrons are much lighter. The relative mass of a proton and a neutron is 1, while that of an electron is 1/1840, which, if you calculate, is very small and is negligible.
Every element has 2 important numbers. First is the proton number, next is the nucleon number. It's very obvious what proton number represents. It's the number of protons in an atom. The proton number is also known as the atomic number. We can find the proton number of each element from the periodic table. We just need to look at the number at the top. For example, the proton number of carbon is 6, proton number of hydrogen is 1, proton number of sodium is 11. Now study the periodic table carefully. Do you realize the elements are arranged in the order of increasing proton number, and each element has a unique proton number? This is important because the proton number determines the identity of the element. What do we mean by each element has a unique proton number? This means if you are given an unknown, you can determine its identity based on its proton number. If the unknown's proton number is 11, it must be sodium. If the unknown's proton number is 17, it must be chlorine. Earlier on in section 2, we mentioned that an atom should have an overall charge of 0. In other words, atoms are electrically neutral. Therefore, in a neutral atom, the number of protons equal the number of electrons. This means the positive charges and the negative charges are the same and will cancel each other out to give a net charge of 0. Next, the total number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom is called the nucleon number or mass number. Why so?
The mass of an atom depends mainly on the number of protons and neutrons it has in its nucleus. Mass of electrons is so small, it's negligible. Hence, to determine the mass of an atom, We just need to consider that of protons and neutrons, which are concentrated in the nucleus.
Let's look back at the periodic table. We can find the mass number of individual elements at the bottom of each element. The nuclear number of lithium is 7, that of sulfur is 32, and that of nitrogen is 14. And since the mass number or the nucleon number is determined by the neutrons and protons, we can conclude that nucleon number is the sum of the number of neutrons and protons. In this video, we have learned that atoms consist of 3 subatomic particles, protons and neutrons in the nucleus, and electrons in electron shells. In a neutral atom, proton number is given by the number of protons, and it is also the same as the number of electrons. Nucleon number, which we call the mass number, is given by the number of protons and the number of neutrons.
Time to put your knowledge to the test. I've posted some practice questions based on what we have covered in this video. The link is in the description. Try them first before looking at the solutions so you can see how much you have understood.
If you find this video useful, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Don't forget to share the video with your friends. If you'd like to have more chemistry resources, you may check out our website. The link is in the description. Have fun learning chemistry, and I will see you soon.